This past weekend, Trump supporters descended upon Washington, D.C. to protest what they view as a stolen election. Now, some estimates say about 100,000 people showed up. Some Trump supporters say it was around 200,000. I don't have the actual numbers, but of course, the people who don't like Trump say it was smaller and the people who do say it was bigger, but that's neither here nor there. There were regular Americans showing up in D.C. to lawfully and peacefully protest. They were brutally attacked. Far leftists like Antifa and Black Lives Matter began stalking people, beating them, and even throwing explosives at one restaurant while diners were just trying to eat. It resulted in nearly 24 arrests. And it shows us the political divide in this country has only gotten worse. And I'll tell you, as someone who reads the news every day, trying to figure out what's really going on, it is becoming increasingly difficult as these two different views, there's two different realities, and now they are completely separated. There's not even any overlap anymore. Either Donald Trump had the election stolen from him from a rigged system with Dominion, and there's evidence of voter fraud from affidavits, or Joe Biden, president-elect, and Trump is just being a sore loser. There's no real middle ground for the most part, although some people are trying to say, listen, if there's evidence of voter fraud, and there is, definitive proof, not necessarily. We should absolutely investigate it. Of course, many Trump supporters have gotten mad at me because I'm not adamantly on their side. And of course, the left, well, they've always been mad at me because, I don't know, I voted for Trump or whatever. But at this event, we heard from America's largest militia, the Oath Keepers. The Independent reports, America's largest militia says it will refuse to recognize Biden as president and resist his administration. Anything he signs into law, we won't recognize as legitimate, Oath Keepers founder says. Now, I believe he may actually have been referring to just general Trump supporters and people at the event. But I do think it's significant that this guy is the founder of the largest militia in the country. Many people have been worried about what's going to happen, that no one's going to accept the results of the election. If Trump somehow ends up pulling off a win, then the left is going to absolutely lose their minds. And now we're kind of in this calm before the storm. You see, I think many people on the right, many Trump supporters, are being particularly calm because the race isn't over. I can't imagine Trump supporters going around getting violent and destroying things. However, that doesn't seem to fit the MO of most Trump supporters. According to polling, they're probably just going to be disappointed. But there are many people who feel that we're facing an existential crisis. You've got talk of something called the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum says now is our chance to reset global capitalism. We've heard Justin Trudeau talk about this idea, and we are seeing mass COVID lockdowns brought about by Democratic governors, which is destroying the U.S. economy. Many people look to Sweden and say they didn't lock down and they seem to be fine. So why this action? Why are Democrats seeking to shut everything down? Why is Joe Biden's COVID advisor saying we should have a national lockdown when the World Health Organization isn't? That is going to ignite extreme tensions. And we're already seeing it. Nearly 24 people arrested in D.C. brutally attacking Trump supporters, all on video. I'm worried about what happens on December 15th or on the 14th when we get official certification. Maybe everyone just calms down. But I kind of don't feel like that's possible because, truth be told, even after Joe Biden was projected the winner by the media, the left is still coming out and beating random people. At a certain point, people on the right are probably going to be like, nope. Well, now we're hearing it. The largest militia says we're not going to recognize a President Biden. We're all.
There it is. You heard it. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Wadash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to the men of the Lord that are prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. To the hopeful elect, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, peace and salutations. And you heard the guy go in, the largest U.S. militia refuses to recognize Biden as president. And these Edomites, man, if you know anything about these militia groups, there's something else, bro. You jakes out there in the hood with a gat, there's some jakes that may carry a semi-auto, but that ain't the majority of you. And the vast majority of you niggas do not know how to shoot. Not only that, even if you did Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai would have to be on your side, you know. And the Most High, he's not coming to deliver a bunch of niggas that got Uzis, man. You know, that's carnal as hell. But I bring this out to drive home the point, and we'll beat it. You know, we'll beat the dead horse, man, over and over and over again until it sinks in. But we're in those last days. These are the exact same times Yahweh Shai spoke about in Matthew 24, what Ezra spoke about in 2nd Ezra 15, which I'll get both of those. But it's happening exactly the way the scriptures said that they would, man. And now you have these militia groups who are known to be heavily, heavily armed, which means that there's a conflict, there will be a lot of casualties. You know, even Esau against Esau, there'd be a lot of casualties. So when all hell breaks loose, you know, and you can't get from city to city, and you Jakes are out there, because the family of the word is coming soon too. You know, when all hell breaks loose and you Jakes don't know what to do, them Edomites, their true nature is gonna come back out, man. As the scriptures say in Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy. You know, for like his iron rusted, you know, so is his wickedness. And they may be all cordial and saying hello, how you doing? But in that day, there isn't going to be any forgiveness, man. You know, there isn't going to be any forgiveness. Let's get it. Salakia. Go to 15. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And doesn't that sound like what's going on right now? It's between these groups called Proud Boys or Antifa, and they've lumped you Israelites, you Jakes. They've lumped you in with this whole Black Lives Matter movement. So pretty soon, Black Lives Matter and Antifa and Negroes or undesirables or what Esau can do in the NDAA Act, which is just classify anyone as an enemy combatant. Those things are they're making it easier and easier and easier to do that. But see, before you had black people, then you had Black Lives Matter, then you had Antifa, and you have these other groups called People of Color. And you see how they just keep making up categories and they just keep lumping you in and lumping you in. And pretty soon they're going to be able to roll on us very, very soon. It says, Salakia, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. And that's what that is with this whole Trump election. Hey, if Trump manages to take back the election, man, all hell's going to break loose, man. I already know a lot of these Edomites, as much as they were celebrating out here in the Kansas City area, hey, they're going to be up in arms, man. They're going to be pissed, you know. And with that vaccine on the horizon, the military is ready to roll. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. That started a little bit with the looting, but that's going to come in. They're going to start going to people's houses. It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And you're going to see similar things like this all over, man. When this lockdown goes around, which it looks like it's going global again, everyone's locking down. You just wait, man. All right. At a certain point, this place is just going to break, you know. I mean, you can already see the spirit of this place has gone down, but now there's going to come a point, man, where it's just going to, you're going to know, you know. Even the ones who aren't, you know, in the spirit, they're gonna feel that same vibration as well too. Even the 2/3. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Now you look at New York City, man. That place has been through for months, and it's only gonna get worse. And when they do the shutdown, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be a wrap, man. It's literally gonna cost more to get that city back to where it was, you know, than it's worth living in. All right. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now you see these things moving. How Esau's got bread lines. He's kind of dangling the stimulus over your head, you know, but he's kind of waiting for the vaccine to come out, and he's got all these ideas to buy you off, basically. You know, he wants to bribe you first, but ultimately, man, we know what his plan is. We know what he's gonna do, and the whole plan is to force it on you. He doesn't give a damn whether or not you want to take the vaccine or not. He wants to be the Most High, and therein lies the problem. This is where all things come to a head, where the Most High has had enough of it. You trying to be a world, you're on this world domination kick. Well, even beyond the world, he wants to go to Mars as well too. So we're at the crux. We're at the critical mass. You know, the tipping point. This place is almost done. So here it is in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. You see these things in the news happening exactly the way they say they would, and we know that these things are only going to increase. So it behooves of you, if you know that you're an Israelite, what are you doing to offer up the right sacrifice to the Most High, man, to make sure you're good. All right, let me go. I can get Salakia. Matthew 24:7. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation." This is Yahweh Shai speaking. "And kingdom against kingdom," showing you that this thing is going to be global, you know. And this is reiterating parts of what Ezra was going into. "And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." All right. So the drama, the real drama is about to start hitting people, man. Wait till you got people that haven't eaten in 4 or 5 days. Forget the people who back in the early shutdown wasn't sure where they're going to get their meal from, or they might be in a bread line. You're going to have people out here that literally haven't eaten. You know, that's going to bug people out. They're going to completely change people's psychology. You ever see that show, The Walking Dead, where it was like, damn, if you run into a non-zombie, you know, that's less dangerous than running into a human. Because people get wicked, man, when they get selfish. That's what's coming to America. It says, verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's what's been happening to the prophets since Yahweh Shai, you know, first did the sacrifice, and he gave up the ghost, and the ministry commenced with the 12 disciples. Man, they've been. If you look at what happened to a lot of those apostles, man, hey, it was nothing but pure evil, man, just for spitting the truth, you know. And that's been no different in any point in history. Even Jeremiah got hands put on him, you know, for speaking the truth. Now, you don't think that's going to come to us in some shape, form, or fashion, you know? But the Lord has promised to deliver the ones who fear the Most High, you know, who's going to have that true faith. And ultimately, we just got to be tried in the fire, man. You know, pray for the spirit of endurance. It says, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Because you're going to have niggas selling you out. Like, yeah, I seen him wearing a garment, or I think he's part of the Hebrew Israelites, or I heard him one time, you know, through the wall going into Bible verses. You're going to have niggas like that, man, snitching, you know. They're going to be sending, you know, robot dogs, drones. All hell's getting ready to break loose, man. It's literally going to be hard to imagine. And it says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. You see these guys all over YouTube trying to break down scriptures, and they're just completely wrong. Can be easily confounded from guys that are young in the truth. You know, just don't know the scriptures. But see, they've gotten away with so long of being able to just, you know, sing and dance, shuck and jive in the pulpit and bring out 3 scriptures for the past 20 years when nobody bucking up again. No one asking questions, you know. You can't offer an alternative breakdown. You can't bring out precepts in church, you know. It's completely controlled, because what it is, is theater, you know, and it's an extension of in the nostril of the Most High. So you have a lot of false prophets going on. And it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. And that's what's getting ready to happen. These militia groups, they ain't about to give a fuck about nobody. Either whether it's another Edomite, a Jake. Hey, a lot of people getting ready to die, man. It's in the air. You can feel this thing coming. You know, like Phil Collins said. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So that's why we preach endurance, do the work, you know, pray, fast if you need to, hold on to this thing, understand what you're dealing with. You know, being an Israelite is who you are. It's not you know, it's not a social group. All right. This thing is deadly serious, and real prophecies are manifesting. You know. It says, the last verse, and I'll close out. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And this gospel has been preached, man. It's all over the world. You have brothers in camps all over the world, and then you have YouTube, where it can be accessed from anywhere in the world. And there's hundreds of thousands of videos, you know, of brothers just going in, you know. So those are the times we're living in, brothers. With that, I just wanted to put that out there. Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. Every single day, we're closer and closer to it, man. So examine yourself, man. Move circumspect. All right. So with that, hopefully, I was edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachach Wadash Shalom Abad Babal.